everyone, in today's video we are going to be doing a easy leopard print gel X set. Going into our nail prep, I'm just taking my e-file and going to the cuticle, drilling the cuticle down really gently at a very low speed. You want to make sure that when you are using the e-file that you're not pushing down on your natural nail, you're just wanting the drill bit to do the work for you. And then once we're done prepping our nails, we will move on to prepping our gel X tips. For this part, you don't necessarily need an e-file. You could very well just use a little buffer if that's what you would prefer. Anytime I'm prepping my nail, it just kind of depends on like what mood I'm in, I guess. Sometimes I use an e-file, sometimes I use a buffer. It really just is depending on whatever your preference is. Moving on to sizing out our tips. Of course, as always, you want to make sure that the nail fits sidewall to sidewall and that none of your natural nail is showing. And then if the cuticle area is not fitting properly to your nail, as you can see here, I'm just going to file the bottom of the nail a little bit to ensure that it fits my whole nail properly. When prepping the gel X tip, I like to etch the back of the nail. I just etch enough to where the nail would actually be sitting on my natural nail, so you don't have to etch the whole entire nail itself, just enough to where your natural nail stops. also like to file down the bottom of the nail as well, because that way it can give off a more seamless look once your nail grows out. I like to add primer to the back of my nail tips just to ensure that the set will last a while. Normally my sets last up to 4 to 6 weeks, just depending on the type of prep that I do for my nails. So I'm going to be adding primer to each of the nails, and then I'll be moving on to prepping my natural nail. When prepping my natural nail, I do the dehydrator and the primer, and then I'm going to be adding one thin coat of the gel glue. If you don't have dehydrator, you can always use alcohol as well. When applying your gel tips, you're just going to put a coat of the glue onto the back of the nail, and then you're going to swipe any extra glue to the edge of the nail, and then you're going to flash cure your nail for about 10 to 15 seconds. So I'm going to be putting on all the nails, and then once I've flash cured all the nails for about 10 to 15 seconds, I'm going to put my hand under the big UV light for about 60 seconds. Taking my e-file to remove the shine from my Gel-X tip. This is also a good time if you did happen to kind of use too much glue and it overflowed to your cuticle area, you can remove that as well. You can also use a buffer for this portion as well if you don't have an e-file. I'll be applying a thin coat of base gel onto the Gel-X tip. You don't necessarily have to do this, but I find that sometimes when I do use my e-file, there might be little scratches on the nail. So just to ensure that the gel polish has a smooth application, I'll go in with a thin coat of base gel and then I'll move on to the gel polish color itself. I'll be applying 2 coats of the gel polish, curing 30 seconds in between before we start with our leopard design. leopard print design, I'm going to be taking this brown color and then I'm going to be using my dotting tool. Really, don't overthink it. It's really just making a blob. So you're just going to make the best blob you could possibly make for the leopard print. But again, don't overthink it. Just make little squiggly blobs because essentially you're going to be using the black gel polish to kind of cover around the blob anyway. So just have fun with it. Don't think too into it. Once we get to our black color, it'll all come together. here is the final look. I'm just going to be applying a little bit of cuticle oil. Just be sure that when you are done with all your gems to stick your hand under the UV light for another 60 seconds just to ensure that they're all going to stay on properly. And then I did add a little bit of more top coat around the gem, not on the gem itself, but just around it to ensure that there was no excess glue that may appear later that I maybe have missed. But I really love the way this look turned out. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And until the next video.